The Morning Show with Eric Von Hessler. I'm Eric Von Hessler. And Autumn claims she can't hear a thing. And there she is.
Hello.
Autumn Fisher, can you hear a thing?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Not with us here, but in Greg's cubby hole of an apartment is Michael Albanese. Can you hear us?
It's more than a cubby hole. It's more like it's a cubby hole. Okay,
Yes.
It's a cubby hole. You got me on that one.
Yeah, I slept on that chair one night over there on to the left of the bed.
That doesn't seem that bad. Put that little ottoman situation next to it.
Yeah.
Pretty good situation.
Not bad. It depends on your age. You know, when I was in my 20s, I slept in worse places. A chair like that would have been Shangri-La for me. But at 47 or whatever, whatever I was.
It's a great chair. It was more than accommodating.
I'm saying it's not about the chair.
The fact I even have a place for other people to sleep.
I haven't even introduced
outside
you.
of the floor.
I haven't even introduced you.
I have to defend my apartment, even though I hear all the construction from across the street when we start the show.
I think it's great. I think it's an awesome place. I like all the books that I imagine you've read all of them.
They're for show.
Who are you talking to, Michael? You're talking to Greg Russ, who's right over there. You're in his apartment. He's here in the studio. And what are the books like? I imagine I didn't look at Greg's books. Maybe aside from the pornography, I would imagine there's a lot of physics stuff and universe this and the universe that.
Death by Black Hole. There's some Carl Sagan. Death by Black Hole is actually, it's not science. That's it's a story about how to stay away from hookers.
Yeah, I thought that's actually part of the pornography collection. That doesn't count.
Yes.
That's not physics.
Well, it's very important to take the necessary precautions when you're going into that realm. You don't want to get diseases. You don't want to be attacked. You want to put yourself in a precarious situation where you can be taken advantage of, meaning they steal your money and you don't get the service.
Oh, I thought so. You really did not want to be accosted by a black prostitute. That's what that was about.
Well, it had nothing to do with the race, but you took it there.
They said black hole.
Yeah, a gaping black hole down below.
Oh.
Everyone's black on the inside.
It's about...
in the dark.
This is about analnicity. I had no idea.
No.
You said the black hole? That's not the... no, it's disgusting.
If
I
you
can't
look
start the
inside
week
your
this way.
ear, it's pretty black without shining a light in there.
Yeah, but you don't get turned on. I suppose somebody does.
Somebody does.
Michael, save this conversation. It's up to you.
There's also Idiot's Guide to Motorcycles.
That's how I learned to ride my motorcycle. And have I been in an accident?
By the way, I saw you.
been one.
I saw you on your motorcycle, and you did in fact look like an idiot.
That was
in your stupid helmet.
Hey, you know, that was by design because I wanted people to know that I wasn't riding a motorcycle to look cool, that I enjoyed it. So I got the goofiest helmet I could find, and I would wear.
You look like the Great Gazoo or something.
Big sunglasses. I think they were women's sunglasses as goggles.
Do you have the motorcycle here? Is that something I can borrow while I'm here?
No. Sorry.
Sold the motorcycle.
No, I
right?
still have it.
You still have it?
Yeah, it just sits in the garage, my parents' garage.
Your dad doesn't take it out for a spin every once in a while?
He did, but my asshole... Well, my sister's not the asshole. My sister's asshole ex-boyfriend took it for a little spin at some point, and then it just stopped running.
Oh.
Just stopped running?
I'm glad he's an ex.
I don't know what he did, man. So am I.
Your dad didn't fix it up?
Yeah, he's lazy now. He's old.
Yeah, he's good with his hands. He doesn't...
There was
a time your dad would have gone, oh, a broken machine? I'm going to go take care of that.
That's what happens when you get older because, there was the time when the timing belt or timing chain came off of the engine and the pickup truck I had and ripped a hole in the cooling system, and he got a crane and lifted out the whole engine. He was really into it, and I think that was the last project. He's like, never again.
Never again.
Yeah, that was fun. I did that, and I'm just going to sit here and drink my vodka. Watching my koi swim around in the pond in the backyard.
That's what he does every night?
He does.
Hey, that's a good life. That's a good life.
It is a good life.
Sit there with vodka in your hand, watch your koi fish in your little meditation pond in your backyard.
What's he thinking about? Where
pretty
did I go
fantastic.
wrong with my son?
No, here's the thing.
What he's thinking is, I did not know my son. I think he's very proud of Greg. I mean, every time I've talked about him, he seemed very proud of Greg. But I'm completely surprised at what he does. Because I don't think he had any concept, first of all, that Greg growing up was considered funny by his friends. Greg never showed. He had this thing, and I know his parents, I don't really know him, but I've met them enough times to know this and compare notes, that his parents really had no idea of his personality outside of the house when he was growing up. They thought, he would come home and basically be stoic through his whole... They had no idea that he was considered the class clown or the cut-up.
Right.
They had no idea. Now, why did you... What was the thinking behind that? Why couldn't you let your parents in on the idea that you were a budding funny man?
The show wasn't for them. They don't need to be in on it. The show was for me. Really, the show wasn't for anyone. Because the moment someone told me to do a show in school, I was like, you think I'm your personal jester? Go to hell.
No, you're right. You're right. You did things.
And for my parents, I was like, I don't know. Let's go there. They get food from them. It's a place to sleep. I can watch some TV. And I'll go back out into the world and do whatever the hell it is I'm going to do. No, they've always trusted me. Whatever decision. I think when I said I was going to get into radio, they're like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I did it pretty young. And then from then on, I was like, I'm going to move to New York. No job. Okay. They've always trusted me. But the one thing, I've had plenty of relationships, and every time they end, they look at me like, what did you do?
Well,
like,
right.
What did you do?
Quite honestly.
Sounds like a nice humble brag. I've had plenty of relationships. Oh, boy.
Oh, you know what? It's not a brag. There's plenty of failed relationships.
No, he could. Yeah, almost every one of the girls that Greg, and I should say women. When I first met you, they were girls. Now they're women. Almost every one of the females that have been around Greg since I've known him, some 12 or 13 years now, probably almost to a person would have married him. I'm sure there's a couple in there that wouldn't have. But
one. Even she, I could have convinced her to.
Could have
Wait,
convinced
that
me.
wouldn't have? The one that burst
My windshield?
Your windshield, yeah.
Yeah.
Busted it in with a baseball bat.
But even with her, there was a time where it was very deep. But yeah, I'll toss her out. There's got to be an outlier. But other than her, and really kind of with her from what I know about that because I didn't meet her, but that was a strange relationship. Greg sabotages the relationships when he thinks they're getting. This is the same thing with that he likes to have. He performs for himself, and he doesn't want to let people in on it. And so he has this cold, unemotional side. And if a relationship's going too long and he can look in the girl's eyes and it looks like something like love is coming back, he's like, no, I got to get out of this. And so, but he won't break up with them. He just starts acting very erratic so that they'll break up with him kind of
This
thing.
guy's not stable.
No, it's
Exactly.
nothing.
That's exactly it, yes.
Never goes to that extreme where I'm not stable. I just wait it out. And if I don't give enough affection or show enough interest, at some point I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what's going on with this guy. But it's a long process because if I acted really crazy, any person in the right mind would break up with me instantly. Like I don't know what this behavior is. It is erratic and it could be dangerous.
But it becomes an experiment for you is my point. Like 6 months before she finally throws in the towel and says, I'm done with this, you have recognized that the relationship is over. And it becomes like a lab experiment.
He has to plant the seed and see how long it
it becomes this little thing that he plays out because ultimately he's performing for himself. Right? I mean, I don't think that necessarily is negative.
That's the best kind of art. I don't do art for other people. You know who does that for other people? These idiots in the scene.
Sellouts.
It's not even sellouts. I don't care if you're doing art, you're making a lot of money. Good for you. I'm just doing art. They say they're doing it for themselves and for the good of art. When they just want to be seen at the bars. Hey, yeah, that's that guy who does that shitty art.
Can we get into this a little bit? I don't want to upset your friends or whatever. But Greg's in New York City. He comes back to Atlanta, and you admit that in much of the art scene in New York City is like this too.
Oh,
right?
It's probably worse.
Yeah.
It's bigger, and the people, if you get any kind of recognition in New York.
Almost any painting artist I've ever met is an asshole. You know, it's like sometimes they're assholes who are really good at making art, but usually they're just assholes who talk about being artists all the time. So Greg comes back to Atlanta, and he is, I won't get specific, I promise, but he is suddenly in the city scene, and he's running with people who are part of the art scene in Atlanta, and he can't stand them. Because he believes that they're not real or something. What is
they're bullshitting, right?
What is your?
It's not even about them being there because there's plenty of other realms outside of art that you can do this in. But people are doing things just to be noticed. Like, just look at me, look what I'm doing, look how great I am. Here's this thing I worked on. Oh, you want to say something? I don't care. Oh, you're talking now. Can you stop talking so I can tell you what wonderful thing I'm doing with my life? Shut up. Just shut the hell up. You're 35 years old, and you don't need to be going around bragging anymore. You don't need to show off for anyone. And
they talk about how they're
posturing. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what they're trying to convince, maybe themselves, that their life is worth living. You know what? Ultimately, it's probably not worth living. It's not. But you can find things that you can fool yourself into thinking, okay, this is worth it. But doing shitty art and trying to show off is not, there's no fulfillment in that.
Right. I feel like a lot of artists, if no one else is going to believe in them, they have to believe in themselves so much that it convinces you that they're amazing, you know?
Right. Well,
because it's subjective, right? Because art can be subjective. So
here's the thing. I don't think
you have to pump yourself up.
Right. But
it's like that Banksy asshole.
Yeah,
that guy can't do art. That guy stinks.
What you're saying, I think that what Bob, you say, like, people talk about how they're creating an art scene in Atlanta, right? I mean, like that we're good. There's not enough art in Atlanta, and we're going to do it. And that seems to bother you, like their attitude about it.
Oh, that's what you're saying. That's what they're saying. That the artists are saying. Like, there's just not enough, and we need to create.
We need to create a scene in Atlanta because without us, Atlanta is dead.
Well, I mean, Atlanta didn't really have much of a scene before, so I get it.
Right.
That there's this growing scene and people have an opportunity to actually create something. I just think a lot of people are doing it for the wrong things or for the wrong reasons. No, there's plenty of great art going on right now, but there's people jumping on like you're always going to get.
The living
in
walls
any kind of
thing
movement.
in Atlanta is big.
What?
The living walls.
Oh, what the hell is that? I can tell I hate this already.
No,
just the
what
name.
Do you think it is?
It's probably, you take these people who called graffiti artists. Attaching the word artist to graffiti is an absolute mangling of the language as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it depends.
Oh, this is a living wall. Well, guess what? Graffiti is an art. It's defacing public property. At the point that the public people say, here's a wall you can deface, you're no longer defacing the wall, so your art doesn't mean anything anymore anyway.
So you're validating the graffiti artist by saying that their art is meaningless.
No,
I'm
saying that they are criminals who are defacing private property.
No, they take not just
our public property, like a bridge or something like that.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
No.
So they should be, the word artist should be thrown away. You're not allowed to do that. So really, what you are is a criminal, and now you're going to be arrested. Then, if the graffiti artist says, okay, and like the mayor of your city is really enlightened and he understands art and he's hip, he says, well, this bridge over here, you're allowed to do all the graffiti you want. Well, at that point, you're no longer really what a graffiti artist is, which is a criminal who is there to deface things where you're not supposed to.
Well, so I'm against, someone just putting their name up on a thing like, and that's it, like their tag.
Neck face. That was always my favorite in New York. Neck face.
Neck face. They have one.
I saw a neck face here. Maybe he's been traveling. Neck
no,
face
it's somebody's ripping them off.
Oh my god.
Or it was on a train because they do it on trains and then the trains travel everywhere.
It's not even a good tag. That's why I like it. It's just
Neck
crap.
It's like you see people. I've seen in Atlanta the word tagged Banksy.
What?
It's like, are you just a fan, or are you trying to make people believe? Oh my God, Banksy's in Atlanta.
Right.
Shut up.
I like that though. See?
Maybe it was Banksy.
See that one?
Maybe.
It wasn't Banksy because Banksy never put his name on things.
I can get on board with that one though. That's pretty funny because people are gonna come out and think that it is some idiots.
This is Banksy's tag.
The same people that are gonna come out and go, oh my God, it's Banksy, are also the fucking assholes who are gonna spend $400 on a tag on a piece of paper because they think that it's going to be worth something one day.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. Put it on a wall or don't do anything with it.
Well, right, exactly. Well, art is subjective, right? I mean, but when we talk about graffiti, I think that's a different thing.
Okay,
you may like a
typical
type of thing until it shows up on the side of the warehouse that you just bought for some purposes that you whatever. Then you'd be like, wait a minute, I'm paying every month for this property, and this asshole has decided that it's his canvas.
I hear that. But you're talking about, like, I don't know what the difference is because graffiti could be this really wide definition of like someone who does a shitty tag. It could be like gang members putting stupid symbols, or it could be like someone's name that's done really interesting looking. Of course, I know it is maybe defacing public property or whatever. Or it could be something that's really beautiful that doesn't look like the typical graffiti. It could be like actual art,
Right, but I think the word graffiti, I could be wrong here, but if you go to the word graffiti, it means putting your art or whatever, but defacing something that doesn't belong to you. I think before you put the word artist next to it, I think graffiti is just
let's ask the interwebs.
Mucking something up, and then what comes along is the graffiti artist, and then that art is legitimized, and you end up in this really weird situation, where then the mayor says, well, you can do your graffiti over here in Graffiti Park, and at that point it's no longer graffiti because it's sanctioned.
One of the synonyms you'll like this: vandalism.
Well, that's a difference. There's a difference, I think, nowadays between graffiti and vandalism.
Yeah,
because
I think so too.
Graffiti is, it's like alternative music is no longer alternative. It's not alternative as in it's different. That's now the style.
Right.
So I think graffiti is now the name of the style, and vandalism is just shitty gang paintings.
The Living Walls is not graffiti. It's an actual piece. It's
art.
Yeah, it's.
I bet it's terrible.
No. So
well, how do you feel? How do you feel about when like a Coca-Cola will commission the side of a building to be a giant Coca-Cola painting? Is that what do you, how do you
If they
feel
own,
about that?
oh, if they own the
Eric?
building, right, they can paint it any
Well, no.
color
What if
they want.
What if they rent the building? What if it's sanctioned
fine.
by the owner of the building?
No,
Well,
that's
yeah, they
fine.
get money.
At
They
that
get
point,
money.
but at that point, that's a commercial artist that's doing that. So that does not fall into the realm of graffiti at all. It may Coca-Cola may say for this campaign we want it to look like graffiti artists are tagging all over the place. So we're going to buy, we're going to rent space across the city or something like that. What's
the difference between that and someone who owns the property that allows you to do whatever
There's
your
no,
art
there's
is?
no, there's nothing wrong with it. If you own the property and you let somebody paint on it, that's a whole different thing, I think. But that's
not sanctioned.
But it's not graffiti. If it's sanctioned, even if it looks like graffiti, it's not graffiti. The idea of graffiti is, a teenage kid who's doing a little bit of his art, but he's also getting one on the man. He hates the establishment. He hates capitalism or whatever, and so he defaces stuff.
I never thought about it as someone who hates capitalism.
Well, obviously they have no respect for private property.
That's his go-to.
No, hold on. There's a perfect chain of this. If you have no, at what is essential to all capitalism is private property. Without private property, in a communist society, you don't own anything. It doesn't matter what they think. They're stupid. They're running around with spray cans, and they think they're smarter than people who are 50. I mean, they're dumb. So it doesn't matter what they think. You don't always know what you are politically. Your actions speak for what you are, and sometimes you don't know what you are. You could be 17 years old and talk about how life isn't worth living. You may not know what a nihilist is. You may not know that you're a nihilist, but just by your rhetoric, someone can come along and go, "You're a nihilist." See what I'm saying?
What is a nihilist? When someone kneels down
Did you just hear?
knees?
There's one right over there. Did you hear what he just said?
Nihilism, nihilism.
Oh, nihilist. Yeah. You
Yeah,
care. You
well-
think about nothing. You care about nothing.
I think you can say it both ways, I guess. But
Well, I'm not saying you're
I always say
mispronouncing
nihilist.
it. I just pronounced it that way because I thought maybe a trigger in her.
I think it's nihilist.
I
is
thought it was
the real-
nihilist.
And you studied it for how long? was this
However
just a
long the Big
passive-
Lebowski is, that's how long I studied it.
So, anyways, a person, nihilist, just doesn't think anything is worth anything, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Yeah. So,
I almost got arrested for tagging. Did I ever tell you that story?
No, I'd love to hear it.
I was making a documentary, the first documentary I made a long time ago. We were following a band around because the idea was it was a music documentary about like DIY and all this, and we followed a band around as they were promoting, and they were like flyering in places they shouldn't, and then we went tagging Krog Street Tunnel, which is a normal thing in Atlanta. That's one of those places that Eric hates that you're allowed to do, so it's not real.
Is that the Cabbage Town one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we decided, oh, well, let's get weird and we'll just go other places we're not supposed to. We tried to break into the Capitol downtown and spray paint the Gold Dome, but we didn't get anywhere near that.
Now, you do understand that's criminal. That's criminal behavior.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay.
It
might
was
be like
worth
a
it for the
felony or
documentary
something.
that 18 people saw.
Well, if one of those people works for law enforcement, you're screwed.
Well, and then we ended up going somewhere I think it was somewhere in Inman Park or Little Five Points neighborhood in Atlanta, and we painted we tagged a building. We ran back to the car. It was like two of the guys in the band, a cameraman, a sound guy, and a guy holding a light. So it was pretty goddamn obvious what we were doing.
Yeah, it's hard to hide.
Right.
Like booking it back to the car right as a patrol car just was cruising by, and I made the argument, oh, we're making a documentary. We'll cover it up, and he made us paint over it.
Well, he was nice to you.
Yeah, no, he could have definitely given us.
Given us.
Word.
Boy, he could have gave it.
It's an irregular.
He could have.
I'm in New York, man. I don't know how words work up here.
You know what? I think there's black mold in that apartment, so probably because there's no ventilation in the bathroom, so you take a hot shower, and sometimes I run the water because I don't pay for it, so I run it for 30 minutes before I get in. So there's got to be mold in there, and he's sleeping there, and he's breathing it in. It's already eating away at his brain.
Thank God.
That's what's happening.
He gave in at the office.
That's why everyone up here is so cranky. Because the traffic
cranky?
sucks and they charge you $1 for a packet of Splenda. I wanted to smack the guy in the face when I
Where
got
did
my
that
coffee
happen?
this morning.
Well,
Bleeker's
here's
finest?
hold on.
why
Here's the
is it
hold on.
flipping?
Here's the thing. If they didn't charge $1 for a packet of Splenda, they'd be out of Splenda. Now that's that's what it is. Everybody would be.
$1?
But well, that discourages. They want to put Splenda in when you pay for something that needs Splenda.
No, they did it for me. They did it for me, and I said 2 Splendas and cream because I want to kill myself one day with chemicals.
Sure.
And she goes, $1 per Splenda.
Really?
Where did you go?
I didn't really capture what was happening until I was like, because I got a bagel and a coffee and it was like $9, and I was like, wait a minute.
No, that's crazy.
I did the math, and I got an orange juice too, but the math was off by $2, and I was like, holy shit! She said $1 per Splenda.
Where did you go? Where was this?
It was kind of near the A line, little bagel deli, gourmet bagels.
Off of near the apartment, off of Father Demo Square.
You go down into like the little 5-corner area.
Bagels on the Square, I think, is where you went. Just go to Bleeker's Finest. They're nice.
Now, see, the
It
problem
really is the finest in Bleeker.
My part here, these are personal stories, and I can't stand. Oh no, it's not me. It's that guy who gave us a 1-star review on iTunes.
What's his handle?
We're not called up. Let's not call him out yet. Maybe he has something to teach us. Perhaps we should listen to his review.
Yes.
And with an open mind, and maybe there's some way that we can make the show a little bit better based on his suggestions. It seems to be a long review.
Do you want me to read this?
Yes, this is our first 1-star. We have, by the way, for context, we have like 109 5-star reviews.
We have 113.
And then there's one 3-star review, and this is our first 1-star review.
First one.
Do we have celebratory music even? I think we.
You know what? I don't have any kind of celebratory music loaded up because I don't like to celebrate. I like to bring things down.
Because you're a neo-nihilist.
Jesus, what are you, black molding over there?
I huff it. I just collect it in a jar and I breathe it in.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Oh, I thought that was poopy.
Oh yeah, you ever huff poop? Oh, it's so awesome.
I was wondering what that jar was next to the bed. I was hoping it wasn't something sexual.
It's got like a balloon on top.
Oh.
I meant to hide that. I forgot to put it in my secret hiding spot. That hole in the wall that's in the bathroom, there's actually stuff in the wall. That's why it's there.
People huff poop. This is a real thing.
No, they don't.
What you do is you put a sort of a balloon, like you take like defecation, and you put it in a jar, and then you put like a balloon or something over it, and then as it deteriorates, what happens? What's the process?
Well, the bacteria is eating
right.
pretty much. It's
that goes up and blows up the balloon,
and then the bacteria's waste is gas.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you take the balloon off, and then you huff the balloon. Yeah. And the thing is, kids do this. One, it's cheap, right? So, but no matter how good the high is, you have to imagine that you have the smell of poop in your brain for 24 hours after it's over.
Yeah, there's some smells you just like can't get out of your nose.
Mike, have you ever huffed poop?
Not voluntarily.
Only our own, I'm sure.
But sometimes when you got a long burner, you can't help what air creeps up between your thighs.
Gross.
Everybody want a bagel?
Yeah, exactly. What's Greg? Are you going to read?
I'm going to play some music from my laptop.
Wait, you have some music?
Celebrate good times?
We're okay.
Can you hear it?
I'm going to plug you in.
You want to plug in?
This is great. Great radio. I can start reading. But why? So I'm going to read the negative review of our...
We're celebrating our first 1-star review. You get the point?
I get it.
Give it to me then.
All right. We're celebrating. You want me to... No, hey, you talk for a second, somebody. Let me pull up this song. Because apparently it's very important that we're stopping the show for it.
It's fun.
Yes. Another 1-star review on the way.
This show is not prepared.
That one will be legitimate, though.
Well, even this one is...
I don't know. You got it in your head that you wanted celebration. Let's just read it, okay?
Okay.
Tough Love writes... I have been a fan of EVH for 16 years and was upset.
But no more!
When he was fired from TRG.
But no more!
I was happy to learn about his new podcast and look forward to hearing his voice and opinions again.
But no more!
The bad news is
EVH
has decided to have a young, ignorant, conspiracy theory-believing dolt named Michael on the show.
Oh, wow!
Wow. Did he say dolt or adult?
Dolt.
Both of them I'll take.
Dolt. Just dolt. EVH apparently thinks he's old and thought he needed someone young who believes in crisis actors and that pharmaceutical companies have the cure for cancer but are refusing to release it to play off of hoping sparks would fly. There wasn't a comma missing, so
I like the fact that
I read that the way he wrote it.
By the way, I mean, dead on. This is exactly the mental process I went through before bringing Michael Albanese in.
I need a young dolt.
It started like this. It started like hold on. It started
I'll
like
take
this.
it. He said young. I'm in.
He said it started something like this. I thought to myself, I'm getting old now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I need?
What?
a young dolt.
Perfect.
Someone who believes in weird conspiracy theories. Because why? Because I think maybe it'll spark conversation.
That was the Craigslist ad.
Remember?
Looking for a young adult.
Do you believe in crisis actors? Then you're going to be perfect for this show.
Have you ever been
Looking
referred to
for
as
a
adult?
basement podcast.
What a weird reason like to hate me. Like what if do I believe in crisis actors? It sounds like a stupid religion, which it could be.
Yes, it could. I think he's angry at me though. He's. I think what he's saying is, this guy might be good for his age or whatever, but he thinks that I'm. The anger is toward me. I'm the one who's let him down.
What's his handle? Did we go over that yet?
The title is Tough Love, and then it's by We Own That Dome.
Oh, that's his handle.
Oh, he's the Larry fan. Anyway, go ahead.
Is it that dome or dat dome?
No, that's something Larry used to shout.
Okay.
It's probably Larry.
It could be. He does help you at some point. Here you go.
Okay, picking up. So the last sentence, to play off of, hoping sparks would fly. So he thinks that you want Michael to play off of, hoping sparks will fly. The only thing flying will be intelligent, logical, and rational people from this show.
Really?
Some advice. Here it comes. This is where his professional advice comes
Now,
into
before
play.
he gives me advice, he gives me his resume, right? He did radio in many different places and blah, blah, blah.
No, I think no.
That's all right.
You really...
I'm going to pull back here and not completely unleash on this guy.
Yeah.
Some
I was
advice.
just about to. That trigger was pulled. I was just about to go, but
Because honestly, so far, he is. We're reading it defensively, right? But it could be taken as
I'm
like,
just reading
hey,
it. I'm just reading it.
no.
It could be taken as defensive then, or it could be like, okay, this is how he's not saying like,
Oh, don't get me
Eric's
wrong.
an idiot for doing
Tomorrow's
this.
show will be completely different as a result
this
of
is it.
this review. So I am taking it very seriously.
Shut
go
up,
ahead.
Dultis.
She's a adultess.
No, he gets to me here soon.
Oh.
Okay, some advice. Please stop the mindless personal chit-chat that dominates half the show. I'd rather attend a Jewel concert.
Stop right there. This show very soon will be nothing but mindless chit chat. That is, in fact, exactly where I'm going.
And also...
in a year, you will not even know how I fucking vote. That is my point of view. That's where I'm going. You, sir, are a former fan. Now go ahead.
Also, when Autumn's out, Jewel will be the guest host. Surprise!
Exactly, yeah.
You're going to love it.
We're going all Jewel all the time.
I would rather attend a Jewel concert than hear about the cleanliness of Eric's pool, Autumn's pregnancy.
Wait, now hold on. Autumn's.
Autumn's is...
It's with Autumn's and then apostrophe S, so it's pluralizing
Autumn's
me
is.
and then also
You're owning it.
possessive. Yeah.
It
Sorry.
is, in fact, your pregnancy, and there's a clone of you.
Oh.
You got it right.
All right. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad.
Both of you own that kid.
He doesn't want to hear about traffic tickets or the food trapped in Michael's stupid hipster beard.
What does he want to hear about?
Well, he apparently doesn't mind me.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
You're a
nothing.
likable neurotic.
Thanks. We own that dome. Good friends.
There's more.
I listen to hear the wisdom and opinions of EVH on local, national, and world topics. Yes, it's your show, and you choose the topics, but please aim a little higher than the topics listed above. You can do better.
Hey, you know
He
what?
believes in you. You can do better.
No, what he believes is he wants this show to sound like the 5 other shows he listens to.
Right.
I want another show that goes topic of the day. I want another show that responds to what Obama said yesterday. I don't give a fuck what Obama said yesterday. I didn't give a fuck when I was talking about it, but now I'm free enough to say I don't give a fuck
Right.
about that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it.
We own
I have to
that
meet-
dome. This is called growing pains for you.
This is the
you know?
This is the preview for a conversation I'm going to have starting this week
Oh, yeah?
with radio people, because I can go back on the air in the middle of the month.
Oh, yeah.
And
We're going to lose the show.
Yep.
This is the
no,
end.
we're not. We're never losing this show. This show is going to go on no matter what I do. But I'm not going to go if. First of all, I'm going to be very friendly and open-minded and whatever. I'm not going to go into meetings and say, "Let me tell you what I'm going to do." I'm going to listen to people, and I'm interested in hearing what they want and what their concepts are. But I am not going to be another person on the air talking about my reaction to the last thing that happened out of Washington, D.C., or what Mayor Reed did. Now, those things may come up in life, but it's just not what I'm completely interested in right now. And so this guy got 16 good years.
Yeah.
As John Dickey said about my career, he had a good run.
That's true.
This guy had a good
That's
run.
a fact.
16 years of entertainment. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And if that guy's listening to this right now, he doesn't even know the Tea Party's dead. He doesn't even know that the movement that he's been a part of so long have turned themselves into such cartoons that they'll never be effective again. I'm sorry that I know this. I'm sorry that I'm ahead of you. I'm sorry that I'm mercurial in personality, that I can change over time. I'm sorry that in 2014, I'm not exactly the same person that you listened to in 2006. I'm sorry that I can't comfort your life like a glove that fits you perfectly every time you turn me on. So if you're interested in listening to what I had to say about anything, then listen. If you're not, then don't. But that's always been my attitude. When we were on the radio, my attitude for people who didn't like this or didn't like that was radio's free and there's like 25 other choices. You know, you should be listening to what you want to listen to. But here's the fact. Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity are much better at punditificating on the things of the day. I'm going to do what I'm good at. What I'm good at is talking to my friends about the shit that's going on, having good conversations, having a lot of fun. And guess what's going on along with everything else? Some politics, some this, some that. It's part of the mix. It's part of the mix. But I'm not going to be one of these talk show hosts that sits down and writes notes about how, okay, what's the most shocking thing I can say in reaction to what the president said to get the phones going? If you like that kind of shit, that's fine. I used to like it too. I'm not into it anymore. I don't listen to it anymore. I don't listen to Rush anymore. I don't listen to Sean Hannity anymore. I don't listen to any of these people anymore. It's boring. And if you don't know that it's boring, look in the mirror. You're looking at a boring person. Fucking wake up, grow up. It's time for a new conversation in this country. It's time for people to fucking get together and say, yeah, you voted one way and I voted another way. Let's still be friends. Let's still have a conversation. Let's still laugh. Let's still enjoy ourselves. I'm so fucking tired of this serious country that we live in where everything is important. If Obama gets this, America dies. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And if your people lost the next election, start working 30 days earlier for the next election. You lost. Shut the fuck up. These are conservatives that are fucking driving me crazy. I remember when Bush got reelected, all the bumper stickers. Hey, liberals, shut up and win an election. Boy, huh? Could that bumper sticker be aimed back at the conservative movement right now? Shut up and win some elections. Really? This is what you want to do? You want to wake up every day, turn on the radio, and listen to somebody tell you an opinion you already had over and over and over again and legitimize you and verify what you think because you don't want to be open-minded. This is what I want to ask people, really seriously in this country. I want to ask people, when's the last time you really, in an open-minded fashion, listened to somebody who disagreed with your politics? Not gave them the time. I'm not talking about simply giving them the time of day. I'm talking about listening to them and then responding without anger, without anything, just saying, well, this is why I disagree with you because of this, this, and this. That the conversation in this country used to be more civil, and it used to be more fun. I mean, it's not fun to talk politics anymore. That's why people don't talk politics with others that disagree with them. You know, the liberals get together, and they fucking have their little cluster their little daisy chain, and they just verify and legitimize their opinions with each other. And the Tea Party and the conservatives, they all get together and they all agree on how terrible Obama is. And if this is something that interests you in doing that on Tuesday and turning around and doing it again on Wednesday, then you don't interest me. I'm not interested in you, and you're not going to be interested in this show because this show is about me talking with some very, very interesting people about whatever the fuck I want to talk about on that day, and it might be about soap. I have a lot of thoughts about soap.
You just gave this guy exactly what he wanted just
that
now.
May be true.
Yeah, he's excited.
Celebrate good times. Gives me 1 star. Who is this fucking guy? What's he ever done? I've never listened to his show. Does he have a show? What's he do for a living?
This whole time you've been ranting, I've been Googling how to find who writes reviews on iTunes, and I'm coming up with nothing so far. I just want to be able to respond. I want to have a dialogue with the guy. I'm not I don't give a shit. Fuck that guy. However, if that's what he thinks, it's what he thinks. But I'd like to at least, he's just one-sidedly, attacking mostly me. I feel like I should at least say, hey, well, what's your problem? Like, I want to have a dialogue and maybe debate crisis actors or pharmaceutical companies that hold off to make money.
No, don't get me going. Or me and this guy. If you put me and this guy together, we're 6 stars, and we'll come after your ass because I gave us a 5-star review.
Right.
I actually didn't. I've never gone up there and done that. But
this whole conversation too long.
About 1
Didn't
star.
listen.
Here's the bad news.
Hold on. I was making a point there, but all right.
Here's the
I'm gonna go
bad
on.
news.
Too long didn't listen.
No, I was just going to say. Go ahead. No, that's all I was going to say.
Well, on the internet these days, in the comment section, if an article's too long, people put TL, DR. Too long didn't read.
Right.
So I was saying too long didn't listen, and you're asking why people don't want to have conversations about real things because the attention span's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to tell you what I think in the end.
Right.
No one wants to continue on. No one wants to go into detail. No one wants to challenge themselves. You can thank the internet for that. My voice can be heard.
Right.
And because I don't have to actually follow up on it because I can type a message and then walk away, no one's going to hold me accountable
Too
to
long.
Too long didn't listen. That's my new review. That's why I'm going to review this show. TL, DL.
There used to be something in this country.
But this is the thing. If an article that has information on it that you want to read, or if you want to get insight into some kind of topic on the internet,
you have to read. You have to read.
Too long didn't read.
You don't know anything on anything if you haven't read a 4 fucking page article on it. If you haven't read an 8-page article, if you haven't gone into the 12th page, you have to read deep and long. Everybody's reading off the internet, but if you notice that the articles get shorter and shorter and shorter, that's because they know that people won't read something that's 7 paragraphs long.
But that answers your question. That's why no one talks. That's why no one has discussions about anything.
Because they can't be pressed on it because they don't have the real information.
They don't have information and they don't want to be. They don't want to go further.
I believe because Rush Limbaugh believes that, and I believe Rush Limbaugh. Now, I'm not saying that Rush Limbaugh is right or wrong at anything, whatever. I'm talking about the audience. Rush Limbaugh reads to the 12th page. That's why he can do commentary for 3 hours. And then you get people who can't handle more than a blurb on things. When is the last time? Do people read like that anymore? I know people read books every once in a while on a full story, but I'm talking about an article about something in the news, 8 pages. When's the last time somebody did that?
8 pages. That seems pretty
8
long.
pages. I mean, if you really want to know about something, though. But that's not what people want. They want
quick info.
The common theme. This side says this. This side says that.
Yeah.
Wrap up paragraph.
Well,
that's it.
This was NPR's April Fool's joke, but they released an article on their website said, "Why don't Americans read anymore?" And then the article itself said, pretty much, we get the feeling people aren't reading the articles we post and they're just commenting in the section. So people in the comment section just read the headline and went down there and started defending. I read books, and then people didn't read the content of the article.
Nobody reads deep into stuff anymore, and that's why you so easily can create these oppositions in politics now. Because nobody really needs to read to the 12th page. Somebody I trust on the radio told me the country's going to end if this goes through. That's all I need to know, because that's the guy I listen to who tells me what to think. I mean, that's really sad.
Well,
we have brains for a reason.
It's confirmation bias. You're going to search out what you already believe, and you're going to listen to what you already believe.
And the internet makes that more. That was always probably a human tendency.
Right.
But you couldn't help. Somebody in your neighborhood was going to disagree with you at the ice cream social. Now you can go into groups and stuff and just continually flate each other.
Well, the anonymity of the internet has really messed that up too, because you can say these wild things and then you can respond also wildly, and you don't have to have anything to back it up because, like you said, Greg, you just walk away. You just write something and just leave it there, and then it's out there. But when you're in person with each other, looking at each other, or like discussing something with someone who you respect, who you might have different ideas about, you might listen to what they say and say, well, I feel like this guy's really smart. I think differently than him, but I'm going to listen to what he's saying because he's
we have a legitimate
guy.
difference in of opinion. There was a thing in this country called the loyal opposition when I was growing up. Loyal. You're loyal. You're loyal to the president. You just disagree with him. Of course, the conservatives, who I am, I still vote conservative. I believe in lower taxes, all that kind of, not the social stuff, but definitely on the money stuff. I'm a pretty hardcore conservative.
Fiscal conservative?
Fiscal conservative would be the way to put it. But let me ask a question. Has anybody from the conservative movement answered this question? Outside the fact that I disagree with almost all of Obama's policies, who's the conservative that has apologized to this man for suggesting that he wasn't born in the United States of America? That went on for like 2 years.
Right.
Where's the apology? He was born in America. So where's the apology? And when you go on something like that and try to say that this guy wasn't born in America, and then you're proven wrong, What about the people you're trying to convince to lower taxes 2 years later?
Yeah.
You're not legitimate to them anymore. You're just saying things that are against the president so that you can take his job away at that point.
Well,
Where's the apology? Has Rush Limbaugh? I don't think Rush was on it for very long, maybe in the early days. But where's the apology from these people? I've never seen it. I disagree with almost everything that Obama has done, all right? But I don't hate him. I'm sorry. He has good qualities. He's obviously a good father. He's obviously a good husband. What's wrong with saying that? You know, why can't I just say I disagree with the policies? I disagreed with all of Obama's policies before I ever heard the word Obama. I'd already done all of this stuff. I'd already been on the liberal side. I'd already done the collectivism, communism kind of trip, and in my own life realized this is not the way to go. It's not a good way to set up a society. It didn't matter what his name could have been Henderson, Obama, Johnson, doesn't matter. I already disagree with the policies. So why do I, as a conservative, have to hate the man? Why do I have to wake up every morning?
Well,
and what makes you
we're in
different?
tribes.
Well, but what makes this any different than these idiots who decided to wear T-shirts that said "Bush, not my president"?
Right.
I got news for you, fella. He is. There's
Not
a
my
constitution.
president.
Right. That's bullshit. I disagree with almost everything Obama says, and he is my president, and that's the proper American point of view. This other stuff is not American. What the stuff that the hardcore conservatives are getting into right now and the hardcore liberals on both ends, it has nothing to do with the concept idea known as America. This place is supposed to be about debate, and debate means both sides, not going into a chat room and saying, yeah, I'm really pissed off again for the 9,000th day in a row that this guy's the president. Wow, are you an interesting human being?
But
I
then
wanna
you get
listen
to
your
send
stupid show.
you get to send a dick pic at that point. You couldn't do that previously. Attending the 3-hour-long presidential debates. That was against the town protocol. No dick pics.
No, there were
Wasn't
no dick
this
pics.
all- wasn't this
Technology
all-
wasn't there. They had daguerreotypes.
It was just too much work for dick pics before because so Lincoln posing for those
You have to
photographs
sit there
he
with
just
your-
for
yeah,
hours.
You have to sit there with your dick out for 3 hours to get the light. To stick to the how do you say that word? Daguerreotype? Those things.
Yeah, I don't know how
Those
to
Lincoln
pronounce it.
photos. They're not. It's not photography.
It
It was done on a glass slide or something. And you had to sit there
or
forever.
like brass or something. It was done on
yeah,
like a
it was
metal. Yeah.
I'm
I
they
can,
use silver
I can see
for
the
some of
word.
this.
Yeah.
Daguerreotype. I never knew how to say it. Daguerreotype. Daguerreotype.
Daguerreotype.
Here's the bad news. I don't want to listen to people talk about how to say words. Half
I
a
do.
star.
Isn't this all predicted by like Alexis de Tocqueville? Like
Oh, look who's got the big fat names going on now.
right? He like
Boring.
predicted all of this. It was the
How dare you throw some smart stuff my way? I don't want that in my radio show.
Well, I don't know. People can kiss my ass. I disagree with the president, but if he walked in here right now, I'd be kind. I'd welcome him in. I'd have a pleasant conversation with him.
Same with this reviewer. If he walked in right now, we would have a
I
pleasant
would
conversation.
throw things at him. I would throw that
We
granola
respectfully
at his
disagree
head.
with you. We own that dome.
First thing I would do.
I want to talk about my pregnancy breastfeeding class.
We are going to talk about that. So tune out now.
Tune out,
Own
guy.
that. Guy comes in with some fucking Larry Wax catchphrase, and I'm supposed to take him seriously? Fuck you. I got news for you. You don't own the dome because you didn't win the election.
Don't do the opposite of what you just
He does
ran
own
against.
most of this show so far, though.
He owns my dome?
No, the show, this particular show.
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
Well, then I guess he wins.
you win,
There's
buddy.
no beating these guard. 1 star. Fuck you. This is not a 1-star show. The 3-star I took, right? I think a 3-star. I think it's reasonable. But this is a 1-star show.
That's true. I don't.
You're a
It
fucking
isn't
1-star
1-star.
human being. You know
Whoa,
that?
let's
you
review
are,
his
I
life.
guarantee you, we own that dome. You think you're fascinating, and you are boring the fuck out of everyone you know.
No, I feel bad for this guy.
No, I'm going after him. I get
bless we own that
emails.
dome.
I'm on email chains from 5 years ago with this shit. You know, did you hear what the president did today? You're fucking boring me. Shut the fuck up. That's my review of that guy. Now let's celebrate something that is very interesting to me. Autumn overreacting to pregnancy, which is what she's doing quite a bit. Last time, I know last week in one of the shows we were talking about her having some kind of Indian New Age ritual done in Piedmont Park.
Blessing way.
The blessing way. How could we have produced so many titans of industry and presidents and such without this blessing way happening before they were all born?
No one
I
said
don't
that
know.
you had that was a requirement.
I'm gonna make her cry.
You're
Now
gonna
I'm
put
turning
that
it
on
to
me.
you.
I know. I'm gonna be defensive too. Watch out.
You are gonna be defensive. So Monday, is it next Monday?
Yeah.
We got to coordinate our shows in such a way. You know, we do
next
several
Saturday. We have we want to try and record a bunch of shows maybe early.
Right, yeah. If
'cause
people don't
have-
know,
yeah.
we stack shows. We record several shows a day quite
But
often.
we pretend that it's live.
Well, that's all right. So does Wheel of Fortune. Who cares? You know.
What? Those aren't live?
They're not live. Jeopardy. They make 900. What you think? Steve Harvey's going down to the Atlanta Civic Center every day.
Yes, I thought that was
they
what he
do
did.
900.
He does his
3
radio
weeks.
show. He tells women to stay. He gives women dating advice. Tells them to stay away from atheists because if you don't believe in God, how can you trust him?
Good
Then
advice.
he goes down to the Family Feud. Then he goes and does his talk show. Then he goes home and
All in a day's work.
Every single day. So we do several shows a day, quite often. And we had planned on doing some this Saturday. And Autumn said, I can't do it because I have a 3-hour appointment. It's like you said, it was from 2 to 5 or something.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
3-hour appointment. Don't be. Oh wait, it is 3 hours.
why? Oh, okay. So she has, and what is this? What is this appointment?
It's a breastfeeding
Class.
It's
So you're
gonna
going to be
great.
taught how to breastfeed.
I'm going to be taught some tips and techniques on how to breastfeed.
So the point here is to get the milk to come out of the nipple. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think they're going to milk me. I think there's going to be like
Why do
a
you look at
machine.
me? You look at me. Make eye contact with me when you
Milk
say that.
me,
No.
Greg.
if there's one,
Can we film it? Can we film it?
Sure.
if there's
Gross.
one man that's part of this training, he's a perv. Know that. Know that.
I'm pretty sure there are no
He
men.
likes flicking the nips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nip flicker.
So I mean, breastfeeding is a natural process that your body does, but it does. There are some tips and things that other mothers and other lactation consultants and
Oh gosh.
people can give
how
you.
How can there be such a thing as a
Hey, do you want
lactation
the
consultant?
economy to grow, Eric? The population is continuing to grow. We need more jobs. If
Right.
someone can be a lactation consultant, let them have it.
By the way, I'm gonna let you finish, but that's the one upside of that is I'm thinking if you want to get rich, find things to sell to pregnant women because
true.
they will buy anything. I mean, the idea. What is this costing you? This breastfeeding class?
It's not that much. It's like $70 or something.
$70.
Yeah, but there
to
was
learn how to do
a
something.
birthing class that we could have taken that was like $200. It was and we didn't.
I
do
took
it.
a. He's doing it with you.
Yeah, Travis is
Oh,
gonna be
why is he breastfeeding as well?
there. No, so he can like support
What?
me and help me.
Oh, so poor
Aw.
guy.
Hold on, could we have this conversation
Poor
without this like disc running in your mind of
It's kind of the mood I'm in today, so you're stuck with me. I'm kind of in
know.
I'm in that kind of mood.
Yeah.
But so you just got to deal with that part of it. Well, that's the way I feel about this whole thing. I never took a class on how to pee, but it just happened and it comes out, and it's
a little bit different.
It's not a little bit different.
You have been peeing your whole life. I've never done this before.
I'm just backing off this conversation. I'm not a woman. I don't know.
Oh,
Nice,
that's
Greg.
very
I'm bailing.
good. Very
I'm bailing
good.
on you.
Somebody's
It's
dating,
you two.
Somebody's dating a feminist. He doesn't want to get in trouble.
You two.
know, you're
no,
not a
he's
woman.
right.
No, so men can't have
You
opinions
think that's
on
that
things
what
that
you
go
think?
on
Hold
with
on. Now I'm back
women.
in.
No, hold
That's
on.
what you think of me? You think I would back off because of that?
Yes. Now,
That is bullshit.
I don't think you would. No, okay. Now that I think about it, but I think that it's in there somewhere. It's in the mix.
It's not in the mix. I just don't feel like I should talk about things I know nothing about.
Okay, so a doctor shouldn't talk to a cancer patient about anything about cancer unless that doctor's had cancer. Is that your
No,
point
no,
of view?
no,
No,
That's
but
not
the
the same
doctor
thing.
knows
Well,
more
what does
about
a doctor
cancer.
know
I don't
about
know
cancer?
anything. Okay, but I don't know anything
What?
about
I got
breastfeeding.
cancer. You're a doctor. You never had cancer. You know more about cancer than I do. I have it. What are you going
the
to
doctor
teach me
knows
about
more
cancer?
about the process of cancer and how it grows and
Yeah.
how it destroys your body and kills you. The person knows it's happening to them. They know
Okay,
nothing
well,
The
about
person
then-
knows
so-
more about the experience of having cancer, but the doctor knows more
My wife
about.
breastfed 2 children. She didn't take one class.
Mm-hmm.
They walk in. They teach you in the beginning when you first walk in. They flick your nipples, and it takes the kid. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes to kind of go through that awkward thing, and the kid gets it. But believe me, once the kid knows where it is and how to get it, nature takes over. That kid never needs help again. And
Okay.
and boom, you just put the first time is a little bit weird to get used to, and then after that, it's nothing. But
You're lucky. Jane was very lucky. You were very lucky.
why do most
Ian
women
and
have
Nick.
trouble?
Yeah,
Come on.
it's true
It's been
because
going on since the beginning of
that's true. But
human
listen, but
beings.
we had women all around us. I would have seen, in the long ago times,
the
maybe.
National Geographic days.
Yes.
Such a smart statement earlier in long ago times.
I think you're talking about yesteryear.
Well, we were having a real discussion, and now we're having a fun topically discussion.
Yeah, I tuned out 5 minutes ago.
The mindless chit chat is happening. now,
1/4 of a star.
So yeah,
I give you.
Yeah, long ago we had women. You had more experience seeing other women breastfeed, other women give birth, problems with birth, experiences, and everything. Like my grandmother would have birthed my mother, and my
So there are no YouTube tutorials on this.
There are plenty. There are plenty, and I could do it that way. But this is just a nice little. It'll be nice.
Nah, I'm gonna stop because I tend to go too far, and then she cries later, and
I just feel
calls me up and goes, "You're not supporting my pregnancy."
Oh, I did not call you up and say that. You came to that conclusion on yourself.
Well, after that one day, I felt like I'm beating her up too much.
Well, yeah,
she just wrote a shitty review. I think we found who owns the dome.
Yes,
shit.
I own that nipple.
I start saying things that are like phrases that are in that review, giving myself away.
Analysts are saying that Greg's leaving to cough. He's actually leaving the room. That's what a professional is. He's leaving the room to cough.
I bet he wasn't breastfed.
I wonder if he was.
Probably.
I don't think I was. I don't know if I was. I'm not sure. I know that my mother had me in an era where I think she was basically knocked out.
Yeah, and for a long time it was
surgery,
passé
basically.
to breastfeed, or it was like kind of like the poor person's thing to breastfeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were poor people, so if it was the poor person's thing to breastfeed, I remember drinking powdered milk when I was 5 years old. When I was born, we were squatting in a house, and my dad was on the run from the law. So chances are that we took the cheap stuff. So I probably was breastfed.
Whole milk and multivitamins dropped in.
Yeah, that's
Dissolve
Greg's
them,
idea.
That's Greg's
and you
idea.
feed it to the baby.
Listen, I don't think that would be so bad.
You cannot feed the baby whole milk.
No?
I can't remember exactly why, but you can't. It's
because
not.
they can't digest the
it's
enzyme yet.
breast
Skim milk and multivitamins.
Breast milk
dropped
is
in.
not. Even like if you get the Similac and things like that, you smell that. It smells like BO. It doesn't smell like milk. It's it's gross. And that's what the kid needs.
Did you ever try Jane's breast milk?
No, I did not. I have friends who did that sort of thing. I had a buddy.
You had friends who tried your wife's breast milk?
Oh, yeah. We actually had a party. Invited people over.
She squirted him in the face.
A buddy of mine.
Coffee and cake. Guys, guess what the cream is?
Well, that's a buddy of mine who had 4 kids in like 8 months. I don't know. It's like his wife was pregnant for 5 straight years.
He's married to a dog, by the way.
He had litters actually. Yeah. He popped out 4. She popped out 4 kids in 6 years or something. 4 boys, and he was telling me once that somewhere in the middle of it all, people were wondering about the taste of it, and so he mixed it into his coffee. He goes, "Man, what the hell?"
Yeah.
And he said, "That wasn't bad."
I hear that it's. I know. I tasted my cousin's, and it was sweet. Well, not from her breast.
Oh, that's what we talked about this before.
Yeah.
She shot it across the room into your mouth.
Yeah.
It was sort of a circus.
Through a loop, and there was a fire, a ring of fire.
This was a whole entertaining thing. I gave it 2 stars.
Mindless.
It seems a bit incestuous,
milk.
does it not?
What's
Incestuous?
Yeah, to if you're gonna have your own family member's breast milk, doesn't that? I feel like you can get like sick or something off of that.
I don't know why.
Like having a baby with your brother.
Right.
I feel like there's something that shouldn't happen there.
But that's like a chromosomal type of deal. This is just a liquid from somebody else's body that I'm trying.
That's so disgusting.
It is. It sounds disgusting.
To me, you just basically said I drank my cousin's pee.
Right. Well, if I
Have
was
you done that?
dying, well, we've all done that.
Sure.
I mean,
What are cousins for?
yeah.
I drank my own pee once by accident.
Greg drank his own pee once
How's
by
that?
accident.
I was a kid, and
It was like 3 weeks ago.
In the bath?
I was old enough to bathe alone. Like I didn't need my parents' help anymore,
Right.
but I was still pretty young, so I would just pee in the bathwater. I didn't think about the fact that I'd be sitting there
Right.
soaking in my own urine.
You're a kid. You don't think about that kind of stuff.
So I'm sitting there, and the water's not high enough yet, and I'm just sitting, and I start peeing, and it just shoots right up into my face and goes into my mouth a little bit.
How old are you? 5 at this point?
Yeah, probably.
Do you remember what it tasted like?
I mean, it's very
Tasted like raspberry.
Remember, I'm sure it kicked off a lifelong obsession with tasting pee.
Oh.
That's how fetishes start.
That is.
That's why all the girls break up with him, because you just bring out that peeing thing now.
Yeah,
I feel like you'd have to pee in yourself in this apartment, Greg. I don't when it gets too hot because I don't see an air conditioning unit.
Does someone steal it?
I don't know. Where is it?
In the front, the if you're facing the windows, the left one.
Oh, you have air conditioning now.
Oh, there it is. I found it. It's behind the curtain.
Okay, there you go.
That's funny. Did
Look,
someone
I don't-
steal it?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't tune in to listen to people talk about their air conditioners, all right? Less than 1/4 of a star now. You're
God
losing
forbid
me.
we have personalities.
I am so
back.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed that I actually gave you 1 star at this point.
You're
with
embarrassed.
this air conditioner talk.
I know.
People are going to know that I thought that was
Hey,
good enough to give 1 star to. It's embarrassing to me.
We're on to something with air conditioner talking. Follow car talk.
That's right.
On weekends.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to talk about Obama.
Air conditioner talk.
People can call in with their air conditioning problems.
Yep.
I set it on 63, but it really feels like 64 in here.
I think if you go on and what you're going to have to do is turn off the bath water and tell your wife to quit masturbating. That's what's bringing the temperature up. Anyway, more on air talk.
Now, what's the model? What's the model you got there? Because they differ. They differentiate on exactly what. It turns out that to a cool ray, it's 65 is 64 to a train. So you got to calibrate
I got a new name
your
for the show.
Yeah.
Cool Air America.
Cool Air.
Cool Air America.
Write it down.
I wrote one down I liked already. He's a nip flicker. So
that sounds like a horrible John Mayer song.
He's a nip
flicker.
So we're not going to be able to do those shows on Saturday, so we'll have to stack our shows another time because Autumn has to learn how to breastfeed.
I'll breastfeed all of you if you were starving.
Now,
You're welcome.
With 3 hours in any kind of training thing, we got to assume that some people are going to be really stupid that are in there. And so we got to start with first of all, the people making the money know that this could be done in 15 minutes. So they've got to put on a 3-hour show. So it starts with, what are breasts? I guarantee you the first 20 minutes are going to be, where is this milk coming from? And no, we need to know. It's not just that thing that happens. Tell me if I'm wrong when I see you after this is over. There's going to be a part where it's like, let's get to know the breast better and know exactly where this milk is coming from so we can be more knowledgeable about it.
I'm sure we'll see like that half-cut thing of a breast where it has like the sacs and things.
That turns me on.
Oh yeah,
because that's you really.
Can I get some calm breastfeeding music and we can try to teach her the class and see if we can get everything here so she doesn't have to go.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Do you have breastfeeding music?
Yeah.
Over
Do you guys
there?
have
Do me a favor. I want to know what their degrees are in because I know it's good. Like you said, there's a lactation specialist.
Consultant.
If they're as useless as radio consultants, you're really going to the wrong people.
No. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't.
Well,
you had one experience. One experience.
My wife had 2 children.
Okay, well then you have 1.5 experiences. I
had no experience because I never breastfed any kid.
Well, I'm saying your one exposure, one exposure to breastfeeding does not make you understand the, I don't know, millions of women who have had difficulty breastfeeding.
Am I right or wrong that 99.9999999% of women, percent of women who have breastfed have never taken a class for it?
I have
that
no
percentage
idea.
You're probably wrong.
What?
Yeah.
I bet I'm talking about the history of the world.
But all those 9s, is that some kind of foreshadowing? Herman Cain, 999. What's going on? What's that?
Well, it's my plan. 9999999999999.
Yeah. Someone's going back to radio.
It's like when you see the is it ivory soap that says it's like 98.9% pure.
Right. And
I look at that and think, well, why? Who knocked off early and went home? If you can get to 98.9% pure, shouldn't you be able to get to 100?
Well, it was like that water that I was drinking. You wanted to talk about bragging about being the 4th best.
Oh no, yeah, we'll get to that. Let's get to the. I do want to talk about that in a second, but
leisure time.
So anyway, I wish you the best. But I will tell you this: here's the difference between my wife and her pregnancy. 16 years ago with our child.
She did it right. You're doing it wrong.
No, I'm not saying that.
Basically.
I mean,
summary here.
She had zero interest in me taking part in anything having to do with her breastfeeding. Like, she did not need my support in that. She didn't feel that. She just like, fuck you, leave me alone. I'm she didn't feel like she needed my support.
That is your dynamic.
She needed my support for overall love and affection and all that kind of thing. But as far as like, I don't things like breastfeeding. I think she thought, I'm a woman. I have breast. I'll be doing this. I'll take it from here. I really don't need your input. I don't need you to understand or anything like that. It doesn't hurt, except for the first time.
Well, I think it does hurt. Like
a little bit, first couple of times.
Nipples like chap and bleed, and you get infections. Possibly.
Just don't get too much. What I love about my wife is after 6 months, she's like, boom, bottle time. We're getting off of this. I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, the breastfeeding is better than not breastfeeding, but you only really have to do it for the first 6 or 7 months. You don't have to do it until they're 2 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Like some people are doing now.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
We'll see how it goes. I just know I mean, I do know that women have trouble breastfeeding.
How many?
I
Like,
don't
what's
know the
trouble?
number because I'm not gonna sit here
Do they
and
put
like
the baby up to their nose? Do they not understand how it's like? What would be
No.
the trouble?
because latching can be
working.
difficult. There are some latching problems with the baby. Maybe the baby has like there's that thing that like a
Yeah, the little thing
connectedy
Tissue?
yeah, that sometimes gets isn't formed properly, and so your latch can be trouble. Sometimes your nipples are funny, like maybe they're
Do
inverted.
you have funny nipples?
I don't, thank goodness.
Oh, well, you ruin every image.
The
I
left
have
one's
of you.
kind of funny.
Picks or I
But
don't
the other
believe
one's
you.
really serious.
They don't.
Picks,
They make a great team.
Yeah,
picks or I don't believe you.
yeah. Pixar doesn't happen.
I'm just happy that I'm in a room all by myself listening to this. It makes it much more convenient.
Yeah, this is
Just think of my bare ass on that chair too.
Yeah, I'm laying in the bed. I worked it out to where I can lay down and be on this show.
Jealous.
Oh, come on, Greg. You at least lay down a towel or something. Don't tell me you put your bare ass right on the chair when you're having a
You
go
lay
at
down a
yourself.
tall.
Well, yeah, you
For your butthole touching the chair.
you know
If there were
what?
cloth on it, possibly it's an old wooden kitchen
Yeah,
chair.
but you're
from when I
leaving
was-
droppings. I don't care how
You
clean
just
you
leaving
are.
little like you're playing little bingo markers
Yeah.
on the show.
CSI would have a field day with that chair.
They would. I've dropped food on that chair
Center
before.
square's free.
I think I dropped a chicken wing on there once, and I picked it up and ate it.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and I hope that
Thanks.
your breastfeeding works out. I know it's a tough thing.
I
hope
also
you-
honestly, I
is
know.
there going to be a test at the end?
Yeah, I hope so. I know we can move on.
No, I don't want. We're going to talk breastfeeding all day.
I forget what I was going to say. Don't worry.
Really? So
Yeah,
we
I
can
did.
move on.
Yeah. Oh
See,
man.
that happens to pregnant women. You need to take an ADD course.
Oh my God, I was real dumb this weekend. We were playing this card game,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept making terrible mistakes. I would put the card down and be like, blah blah blah. This, and I'm like, that's not the right card. You can't do it with that card. I did it over and over. I was real.
Travis smack you
stupid.
around again. I know he takes the games very serious.
How else am I going to learn?
That's true. As long as you know.
Yeah.
You guys are right for each other.
We are right for each other.
Yeah, you're so cute.
loves me.
He will not admit how much he is dreading going to this breastfeeding
You think
class.
so?
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
might be interested.
He's a
He's
great
interested
husband.
in stuff like that.
I know, but he's a great husband.
Yeah.
But there's no husband that wouldn't rather be at home playing the Xbox and masturbating
Well,
while you go and do that.
if he had the choice between that and going to the thing, maybe.
Well, he does have the choice. You're
I
just
think
not
maybe
giving
he'd
it
want
to
to
him.
do both. Like, can I just stay home for like have him jerk off and watch and play Xbox and then go
Yeah.
visit you?
Yeah, I'll come see you.
Yeah.
No, he's dreading it, but he's a good husband. And also, he's part of your generation where they've been taught to
He's
kind of be
sweet.
girly a little bit. And,
He's not
you know,
girly.
be
They've
all-
been taught to, not beat the shit out of their wives. Us pussies.
Yeah, whatever happened to the real man in America?
No, he's in. I
Drink
think
whiskey
he's
and kick your wife in the teeth when you get home. That's what a marriage is.
Now, hold on. First of all, you give them the look. You got to give them the look. And if they don't understand, a good wife walks into a room and knows that she needs to leave the room, or else there's going to be some fisticuffs.
Jesus Christ, Eric.
Yes, Michael, because you see my wife. She's battered.
She is.
No doubt. She's knocked around quite often. What is wrong with your throat?
is
What?
dying.
You know what's wrong with my throat?
Were you at a rock concert
Fucking
screaming?
pollen in the south. I got to get the fuck out of this place.
Oh, you lived here your whole life.
Yeah, and this happened my whole life when I lived here. I got to avoid it for years.
The air in New York City is so fresh.
Well,
So fresh.
Doesn't make me cough.
Comes out of vents in the streets. It's so fresh.
Hey, that's sweet smell. It's got a strange sweet smell to it for some reason.
Yeah, homeless dung has a strange,
Dung.
sweet smell.
No, that steam that just comes out in the
Yeah.
winter. You see coming out of street covers and
Yeah, it looks like the
manholes
city's
and
about
subway.
to blow up.
Yeah, it has a nice smell to
You're about
it.
to be in a Michael Jackson video.
It's a very
as you're walking
comforting
down the
smell.
street.
Can't even eat this cough drop. It's paper stuck to it.
No, it is. It's hard, but it works. You can have a little bit of paper. It's fine. This is kind of silly. You left. You were drinking this leisure time, premium, sparkling water.
That sounds like that should be the lemonade. Is leisure time.
leisure time because
and Turkey Hill should be water. Should be the water.
Turkey Hill should have something to do with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Turkey Hill cranberry sauce.
Yeah. Totally.
No Thanksgiving meal
Doesn't
is.
Turkey Hill dabble and all? They dabble across the board. They're
They're
an ice
very-
cream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like one. Yeah, I think they're. I think
Turkey Hill sounds like a battle fought in the Civil War. Or like a neighborhood that you don't want to go in, just filled with Puerto Ricans.
Wow.
Stay out of Turkey Hill. Don't go north of Turkey Hill.
Michael Albanese on the record doesn't love Puerto Ricans.
I absolutely adore Puerto Ricans. Get out of here.
You're just not going to Turkey Hill.
I ain't going over near Turkey Hill.
So this Leisure Time
They
premium,
pick your pockets over in Turkey Hill.
Leisure Time premium sparkling water. It's a carbonated spring water, and you were drinking it, right?
Yeah.
And you left it behind. You left the empty, can't say bottle anymore, the plastic bottle, and I picked it up and I'm looking at it, and they brag. This is honestly, this happened in 2012. They got this honor. It says on the tag here for Leisure Time. There's a very beautiful sort of mountainscape with snow-capped mountain.
iStock photo.
It says, winner of 4th best tasting water in the world in 2012. This is their bragging about being the 4th best.
In the world, though. Think about all the waters in the world. I would brag about that.
Don't get me wrong. Being the 4th best water in the world, if you own the company, you're like, hey, we're doing pretty well. That's not bad. We got a good product here. It's doing well. But then making that part of your PR, part of your merchandising, we're number 4? That just doesn't seem to me like you're really reaching for the stars.
At some point, when you get to a certain number, you have to just generalize you're in the top 5 at that point.
Top 5.
Top 5
that'd be
drinking
better.
waters in the world. Or
They want to
top
be
10.
honest. They want to be transparent. They want to know. They want you to know exactly where they fall within the hierarchy of the best waters in the world.
They're going to be their marketing is as transparent as their water. A little foggy, not the best.
We're number 4. I'm going to begin to brag about the fact that we are number 192 in comedy genre podcast.
Well, how many
on
are in the world?
iTunes. Oh, there's thousands. It's
Yep.
great to me.
I would brag about that
Yeah.
then.
I always wonder about, when Rolling Stone puts out top 500 albums of all time. It's good to make the list, but do you brag about being 498? We
Right.
made
No,
the
you brag about being in the
498th.
top 500 of all time.
Exactly. We're in the top 500. But you don't make a big deal about it. We made the 498th. Millions and millions of albums have been made. So being the 498th best is pretty damn good, but it's not something you brag about.
What's the process? So when you get into like 372, like I don't know, I think that one's 373. I don't think we can give it the 372nd
Well, all
spot.
of those top this and top that all that link bait that's out there, it's all the top. It's the internet is not the first, but I've noticed this a lot lately. The 36 things you need to know about Mark Zuckerberg. Could you trim it down? Are there really 36 things I need to know? How about 6 things I need to know about Mark Zuckerberg? Maybe 10.
People will read something that long if it's list form. That's what it's become. If it's
Yeah.
long but it's a list, they're in.
And all of those, by the way, all of those lists, whether it comes from People Magazine, Rolling Stone, not Forbes, because they really look at your income. Like, okay, the
Right.
top 500
There's something you can
earners.
actually...
Yeah, there's a thing there. But when you're talking about the sexiest man alive and all that kind of stuff, it's all bullshit. It's based on how much caffeine was consumed in an editorial room between...
Or a publicist, how much a publicist
the
paid.
publicists paid whatever, but really but publicists can't pay for 500 albums. So like a list like that, I mean, it really comes down to people just shooting the shit, and because they're in on the outside of that editorial room, it says Rolling Stone editorial room. When they walk out with the 500, somehow that's like in concrete because it has to do with rock and roll music. But the process of putting it together, they really argue about the top 20. They really argue about what order the top 5 are in. It gets to 300. And, hey, didn't Captain Beefheart make one really good album? It's like they just start throwing shit against the wall.
Well, it's very arbitrary. When I worked at the radio station in New York, I think on Labor Day we did the top, because the signal was 101.9. The top 1,019 songs of all time, rock songs of all time. So you count down, you're just throwing stuff in there.
Yeah.
People recognize this. They don't know, but this was the thing we did because everyone expects Stairway to Heaven to always be at the top. Mm-hmm. It came in at like 1,003. Blew people's minds. Oh my God, what Stairway to Heaven's up this high?
Have I been asleep? Has that much good music happened since Stairway to Heaven that it could be in the thousands?
I actually have to kind of give it to them. At least it's a little marketing ploy, sure, but it's like,
Yeah,
well, that song's already out of the way.
It goes to show you.
it's
Stairway to Heaven is a great song that has become overrated and people are tired of hearing it. But if you go back to fundamentally saying which are the best, most influential rock songs ever done, then putting it in the thousands is nothing more than a PR stunt, which makes the whole list bullshit, right?
Yeah,
Because
I
Stairway
agree.
to Heaven
I
has to
agree,
be-
but those lists are bullshit. They've been
Right.
done so many times that there is no surprise that the top 10,
Yeah.
25, because it's always the same.
But the truth is, if you heard Stairway to Heaven for the first time this afternoon, you'd be blown away. If you heard Freebird for the first time this afternoon, you'd be blown away. And when you put together a list like that, it doesn't matter that people are tired, right? I mean, you go back to, which were the most influential, which had the most spread, which were loved the most and still are loved, so.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah, because you hate that song.
Because I don't like that song. But you would.
I don't know
who
that.
makes
I don't.
the rules?
I mean, right? Exactly. It's subjective.
Yeah.
And we know it, but the thing is that Rolling Stone has this thing like, well, we are like the New York Times of rock and roll or something. Even though we haven't been about rock and roll since the Village People came out.
And the New York Times hasn't been about opinions or actual news since they started. Good call.
I mean, Rolling Stone is useless to me for two reasons. One is they decided to become the Village Voice when it came to politics, right? And they were always like that, but you'd have like one political thing in the 70s in the Rolling Stone. And then it just got to the point where it was just like Jan Wenner, who is the editor. It's his life that's in Almost Famous.
Oh, right.
He's the kid. That's his life. So he. No, that was Cameron Crowe. It's his life. Whichever one, whatever. Jan Wenner's involved.
Maybe he was in it.
He was in it in a cameo because I thought that maybe I can't remember if he was Cameron Crowe or if he was Jan Wenner. I can't remember. But anyway,
People are yelling at their
damn it, Eric, you're so stupid.
No, they're like, I know what it is.
I know what it is.
What's his name? Jan Brennan?
But anyway, in the 2000s and everything, or even the late 90s, it just became this guy. He was a closet homosexual for most of his life, and as an adult, he came out of the closet. And you know how that is. It's like you suddenly become uber active in everything because you feel kind of guilty that you've sort of hid this for so long.
You're
from
living
people.
loud.
So he was living it loud, and it became a real political magazine. The covers were of politicians that we love, politicians that we hate.
Right.
And then at the same time, the music that was coming out in the mid 90s to now was stuff that, because I was aging, I was less interested in reading about anyway.
Sure.
So the magazine became, for me, I think the last time I had a subscription to Rolling Stone magazine was 1993 or something.
When was
like
the last time you had a subscription to any magazine?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But 93 magazines were still the thing, So
what was your other subscription?
we always OUI.
OUI.
When I was 16, I was tall enough to buy pornography at most places, but I didn't know how to pronounce that. And I was like, "Can I have an owie?"
Aww.
No, you pronounced it right. Because that's what the girls in there looked like they were saying. Owie!
Owie.
I used to love Swank magazines.
Swank.
Because it was not only was it,
Because it was swanky.
the girls looked more like people that might be in my neighborhood, and it was printed on really like low quality stock paper. So it really felt dirty. It was just dirty.
Perfect 10. That was a good magazine.
Perfect 10.
Glossy paper.
That was a Playboy knockoff, right?
Was it? It was.
I think it was just it was like
nice
Playboys.
ladies.
So nice.
Yeah, not real pornographic, but beautiful.
Yes.
Well, and then you have a good, healthy mindset if that's what you were attracted to as a teenager or a youngster. Perfect 10, I would say.
Every once in a while,
I was going for owie and swank.
I still get in the mood to look at photos of porn instead of videos.
Whoa.
When I do
school.
that, when I do that, I don't want the hardcore. If you're going to go hardcore, you go video.
Right. You want gynecology. You want moving imagery.
Yeah. If I just want to look at photos, just naked ladies.
I look
with
at
like pearls like dripping from the hands.
Yeah, you go look for there's so much amateur.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it porn, but there's photos of naked ladies, girls who are of legal age.
Okay.
Barely.
Out there. Because
Well,
they're idiots. They're idiots. They send these photos to their guys, and then ultimately, most people are going to post them.
I go to the hidden video breastfeeding class stuff. You ever masturbate to that stuff? Fantastic. And you might learn something while you're there.
There you go. Then you can help your partner eventually.
Exactly. There's double good going on.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the pictures like in Playboy are so dated looking. They look so dumb.
Well, the women have hair down there. That's number one.
No, they don't have hair.
Oh, I haven't looked at a Playboy in a million years.
I think hair is
Last
coming
time I
back,
looked at a
though,
Playboy,
actually.
there was hair down there.
I think it's coming back.
Back in Penthouse in the 70s.
Thank goodness.
I don't think they did this in Play. They probably did it in Playboy a little bit.
Yeah.
But Penthouse was always like to us in the gynecological age of the internet. Penthouse is pretty tame, but compared to Playboy, Penthouse was
Yeah, they
and
had like people
and then Hustler
peeing.
was like off the charts.
Oh, Hustler, people would pee. I think.
Yeah, that was off the charts.
That was crazy.
That was Hustler was the internet before there was an internet. But Playboy and Penthouse, Playboy was much more of a news magazine, and the Playboy interview.
You could read about your stereo.
Yeah. There was the Penthouse had that as well. But the photo shoots were more risque than Playboy. And so one of the things that they did that Playboy didn't quite often do was there was shaping was really big in the 70s, where girls would shape their bushes, and so it would look like a heart. Or some kind of, you could probably find this, I'm sure. I mean, this was the big thing. It was like
lightning bolt.
Yeah, this is Penthouse, like mid-70s or so.
Michael, go under my bed. There's a red box, a Staples box that printer paper would come in, and
you have Playboys
and Hustlers. No,
You-
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just
The
gonna-
under your bed is way too dense. I'm not crawling under there and seeing what's gonna bite me.
So I Google image searched shaped pubes, and the first one is like some fun ideas. And they
still-
just have a bunch of
Right.
different shapes you could make.
But there's the heart. The heart was a big one.
Yeah. Landing strip.
But landing
The
that's
arrow.
all. That's all very modern.
Parallelogram.
Rhombus.
Pentagram. Wouldn't that be something? You pull her pants down. There's a pentagram.
Oh,
Whoa, what
she's
am I-
goth.
I'd be
What have I
impressed though
gotten into?
to get that in there. That'd require some work.
You'd assume that she washes and bathes well, because she's going to pay that much attention to
Yeah.
get a good pentagram down there.
That's a lot of work.
We lost some people since the last time we were together here. In the
Is this a
seg.
transition? This is,
that's a seg.
Seg sound.
I'm giving myself 1 star for talking bush shaping for too long.
Oh, you'll talk about Bush.
Listen to me. I'll talk bush all I want to.
by the way, if you're interested, Clash's London Calling was #1 on the definitive 1019 Labor Day countdown.
It's
The song?
worst.
Yep.
Can you hold the thing while you talk? Because you're killing me with the.
London's calling.
Sorry, I didn't know it was translating that much. I'm just trying to keep from coughing, but I
understand.
I tried to
It's
keep the
disgusting.
show going by not talking about
I
it.
understand. It's just a request. It was a simple request. London Calling?
The worst.
Yep.
No, first of all, London Calling is fantastic.
All right, it's not the best.
Have you ever listened to the album London Calling?
Have you ever listened to me?
Way too much. Have you ever listened to the album London Calling? First of
No,
all,
but who cares? Let's have a different song with #1.
Oh, Miss, I love the Beatles.
Yeah?
The Clash is too long.
I forgot that it was
Gone for
voted
you.
on. The listeners got to vote on them. They got to
Really?
go online and they got to vote, and we paid
What
no
is it?
attention to those votes. People do vote, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. You
Yeah.
don't pay
Right,
attention
right.
to the votes.
Oh no, not at all. Or it's
That's like trying to get the-
5%. It makes 5% of the voting thing is just to get you involved and cheat the customers.
Yeah.
What most
It
of these
really is just a
entities
flat
do.
out lie, but you can get away
Sure.
with it.
Or like have
It's
you're
a lie.
waiting.
It's false advertising.
It's all a flat out lie. You remember in '96 Rock? I think you guys were there.
The 96 caller.
Yeah,
stuff
no,
like that?
but, or no, they would
No, that's
do.
always a lie, too.
Remember the
always a lie,
Harley
too.
Davidson stuff?
Oh,
You they got into this thing because Clear Channel suddenly was nationwide, right? So they would have one Harley Davidson for that somebody at 700 different.
Right.
No, let's put it all in the rock category. So let's say that it's 100 different stations.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got one Harley Davidson. It's one contest. One person listening out of all of these 100 stations is going to win one Harley Davidson, but they play it in every town like
Right.
this is the only station where that's going to happen. And people have no idea that your odds are astronomical if you're only competing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But they have no idea that they're competing in Atlanta, New York, LA, Dallas, wherever, And it's not illegal. It walks right up to that line. And if you're listening at 1:30 in the morning, there might be something that plays really fast like this, kind of explains all that stuff to you.
Yeah.
Because legally you have to do that. But the people who put that together actively tricked the audience into believing
Well,
something
that's what
was
happens
true
when you
that
get
wasn't
a
true.
big radio corporation. They can do that.
Right. Well, if you
Someone
have
like
enough
someone
reach.
like Clear Channel had at that point, I don't know if they've been selling up, but 1,200 stations across the country. Sure,
Right.
you put one motorcycle on other stations. It's very cost effective.
But can you run a business like a restaurant that way? basically trying to trick your customers all the time, basically not being honest with them. Banks do it, right? I mean, it's good. The radio industry and those kind of they're kind of on like that banking model. We'll tell you one thing, and in the little print, we're taking 3 cents a transaction. We're not telling you about because you're not going to notice it anyway. And even if you do, you're not going to complain. You couldn't do that if you just had a burger stand, right? You couldn't just say, "Hey, the burger is $3.25," and then once the person starts eating the burger, you start saying, "I need another nickel."
Yeah.
You know, oh no, you didn't see it. It was very small on the, you know, so.
Oh, did you want ketchup?
Oh,
that's
yeah, that's going to be extra. Splenda?
You want Splenda?
$1.
Yeah.
Like you said, they do cover themselves. They get their legal jargon in
Oh,
there.
it's not illegal. It's not illegal. It's just wrong.
No, I agree it's wrong.
You're tricking your customer.
But it's all tricks. That countdown, like Autumn said, the 96 caller. Give me a break. If you're going to answer the phone 96
yeah,
times,
come on.
you answer caller 1, caller 2, caller 3.
Done.
And then let's say it's 96 Rock like it was at the time. 96 Rock. Oh, yeah, did I win? No, you didn't. And you just go through until you find the sound of a voice that you like.
Sounds
The
good,
voice
yes.
you like, yeah.
If it's,
totally.
Hey, yeah, win, yeah, yeah.
Nope.
Right. Nope. You know,
Gone.
hi, did I win?
Yes, you did.
Oh, that's great.
Yay. Caller
96.
Suddenly, you're the 96 caller. Who's auditing that? Who
Right.
from the government is standing there making sure that you actually take the 96 caller?
My friends
No
got
one.
a trip on the rock boat because
you
they
rig
forgot. No, because the new promotions guy or whatever,
Yeah.
or whoever he was, like a sales guy, he forgot to give it to someone to give out on the air, and he had to give it away. So I was like, I'll take it. I gave it to my friend.
I remember when I was first in radio, when I first was producing the morning show in Rochester, it was cool for me because back then, and then they still do it a bit, but it was like the hardware era with promoting shows. You would actually give away CDs, CD players and things like that.
Right.
And I always worked it out to where I got 2 of the items and gave 1 away.
Sure.
And I actually like over that, it was like extra pay for me. Like whatever we gave away on the air, I almost assuredly got the same thing at my house. And it was just completely wrong. And I didn't tell anyone about it. I just said, I got 2. I told everybody else I got 1 and we gave 1 away.
I'm pretty sure that's how promotions work
Yes.
in radio, right? Every promotions director has all of the prize,
Right.
Oh, did you want tickets? Okay, here you go. I have 20. I'm not giving them all away.
You're not giving them all away.
No.
Make sure me and my friends get to go see this
Exactly.
thing. And then I'll give some away.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's like any job, right? I mean, you're always going to kind of line your pockets a little bit if you can. But
We would
hide the tip, and that's what we used to do. Like when I worked at the W, we would there were the way that you could add gratuity onto a check because it was like a big group of dudes or something, and then you would hide the itemized at the very back of the checks, like of the receipts, so that they wouldn't see it, and all they would see was the total, the tip line, and then the total again.
And so you get tipped,
and
they
then you
didn't
get
know
double
that
tipped.
Double tipped, y'all.
I made $400 once off of one group of like business people.
You
because
feel
they didn't
bad
see
about
it.
this, I'm sure.
I feel amazing about
really,
it.
You stole that money.
no.
There's no difference.
They have it on a corporate card.
She earned it.
I
She
love
earned
that.
it.
I
She
love
had
that.
to put some work in to get that money. She earned it.
I did. I had to
that.
be super nice to weirdo
Yeah.
Scotch drinkers.
Uh-huh. There's no difference in what you did than if you would have rifled through their pants.
Well, I did that, and that's why I wanted
Well,
more.
then you deserved it. No, if they would have taken off their coats at the door or something, and you rifled through them and took $200. There's no difference.
No.
Don't fool yourself.
No, well,
There was
I
so
did
when
it
I was
legally instead of illegally.
when I was promotions coordinator, I had access to prizes. And the New York and New Jersey lotteries would send scratch-off tickets over to the radio station, and we'd give some away. And as far as I was concerned, you'd schedule the mentions on the air. So they got their mentions. That's what they want. And we never said how many we would give away. So they'd send over like $600, $700, $800 worth and give away $100 worth, and I'd take the rest, and I'd scratch them off. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So as far as I was concerned, I earned that money because I had to sit there for hours and scratch off all these tickets. And then if it was Jersey, I had to go over to Hoboken. That's
Ooh.
worth it in itself to get paid.
How much did you make off of this scam? Over time.
Over the time?
Yeah.
Few thousand?
Really?
Well, you see really what a scam these lottery tickets are, the scratch-offs,
Right.
because there's so many, you don't win anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, you get the free ticket here and there, but they know that you'll just go trade that in for another ticket, so they still get to keep that dollar.
Yeah.
But
You never actually.
you get big winners. I think I had the $250 winner once was the biggest.
Whoa.
But I feel like these were $1 million winners, and then I won one of those. I didn't win the million, obviously, because I wouldn't be here. But if I did, got the million.
That hurts me that you wouldn't be here.
Nah,
If you won the million.
it's not that much.
I would
really.
like to think
People think a million's
million
a lot.
is not,
It's not
that much. After taxes, it's a nice bump.
You got to make it into 2 million.
Yeah, well, it's nice. It's a nice
You got to
bump.
Donald Trump that shit.
Having after taxes, what do you get? You have like 750 thrown into your
Something like
account
that.
or something like that.
Yeah, which is nice, but
It's nice.
not
but,
to burn every
you know,
bridge.
you can't go buying your mom a house and buy cars for all your friends with it. I mean, you can. You just won't have it very long.
Right.
It's a good thing to invest all at one time, but it ain't gonna do.
I was scared because I don't know what the limit is they'll pay out at the store. 500 maybe. If you're anything over 500, you have to submit the ticket.
Right.
And I was like, I hope I don't win that much because
Well,
then at that
then
point,
your employer would know that you took their ticket.
yeah, I would have to give it
Would
to someone
they?
else.
Would they know though?
I don't even think what I was doing was illegal. They got their mentions. They give the tickets,
Yeah.
and we.
That's
did,
all they care about
And
is
we
the
did give
mentions.
some away. That way, there was paperwork.
Right.
Right.
So if someone ever wanted to look into it, which they never would, I don't even know what legal organization would come in and like, yeah, we need to make sure you're actually giving these
The
prizes away.
lottery commission.
But
I
there
imagine
was-
a lot of people didn't come to
Did we lose him?
Are you there?
Come where?
pick up their tickets. Like they forgot,
Oh,
and then they just
there
had
it
to give them away. So can you guys? Hello.
Yeah, we got you.
You're just kind of going in and out for some reason.
Maybe the internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't come to pick up. They get real excited about whatever it is, and then it just becomes a hassle to try and find the radio station, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And there's
don't need it.
leftover tickets, and then friends of the station get
Yeah.
tickets.
Well, that was always the thing. The day of the show or the night of the show, you would go up to the reception desk. Those tickets still there for the
Yeah,
the
you're
Cure?
waiting for it.
Hi-Fi Buys. Is it still Hi-Fi Buys? What's the amphitheater these days?
Lakewood,
yeah.
whatever it's called now.
Lakewood Aaron's Rental Theater.
or something.
Aaron's Rental Hi-Fis.
Yeah, we got some tickets. Yes, you just hang around the station.
Greg, what would you have done if you had won $1 million that day? One of those days.
I would have kept it secret. I would still kept working. I would try to pocket quietly $1 million.
Would you
Yeah.
pay off something, or would you?
But $1
buy
million, you got to
something,
go in
or-
front of the cameras. I think $1 million is going to be.
I'm sure you can
not a
decline.
huge.
You'd be like,
no,
no.
you can send a lawyer. No, if you look at the back of a lottery ticket.
Really?
It's important to them that they say to the rest of the country,
People are
because
actually
they're
winning.
not doing what radio stations are doing. They have to be able to say this is the person. Now, at some level, there has to be a press conference. I don't know. That used to be $1 million, but now with these $560 million
Yeah.
things, I don't know what it is now. But they might still even hold just even a small, even if the press doesn't show up,
Yeah.
present you the check. You're the person. Everyone knows you're getting it. And also, other people can see you and get in touch with the lottery and say, that guy stole that, he killed a guy, he stole it, whatever, so they can be on the record.
Yeah.
So if you look at somewhere in the print in a lottery ticket, your image can be used. You're becoming public with this. You can send a lawyer,
Oh, okay.
but you can't
proxy?
you can send a lawyer to pick it up, I think, but I don't think you can send your uncle. I mean, you might be able to, but I mean, it's got to be somebody
What if your
related.
uncle's a
Legal.
lawyer?
I think they have to legally represent you, so it would be a lawyer,
Right.
unless your uncle's the lawyer.
If your uncle's
Yeah.
a lawyer, you got everything you need to walk away with anonymous lottery winnings. But anyways, how much time is left? Because there's 2 big deaths that we have not talked about.
2 minutes. You have to tune in tomorrow for that.
I guess we're going to be late on the Mickey Rooney, John Panette stories.
You already did it.
No, I mean, it's this Mickey Rooney, man. He was something. 93 years.
Yeah.
And he's the only person. We'll get into this at tomorrow's show. Only person.
That's a teaser. Tune in tomorrow to hear
Yeah,
about
don't talk about it, yeah.
old news of Mickey Rooney dying.
But it's going to be
gotta
what was I
tease
saying?
it. You gotta
I am
tease it.
teasing it. If you guys would shut up. He's the only person who was ever in movies in 10 decades. 10 decades. And I can't
Every
stay,
single decade?
I can't stay on the radio for 5 years running.
Every single decade.
Just every single decade.
He was in a movie.
for 10 years, for 10 decades.
He didn't take one decade off.
Well, he may have only been in one in the latter decades. Like he was in
All right.
the Smithsonian movie with Ben
Yeah, what is the fuck is that
Ben
called?
Stiller, Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
You've been on the
So-
radio for 4 decades, and you're not even in your 5th decade yet, age-wise. That's pretty good.
Started in the 80s, 90s, 2000. Yeah, you're right.
See?
This ain't so much.
Yeah, big deal.
Fuck him. In a nice run.
Exactly.
And this,
R.I.P.
Don't play this up. 10 decades. Who gives a shit? He just got old. That's what happened.
And-
That's why it was 10 decades, because he got old. And he made some
but he
guest.
kept working.
Yeah, he kept working the night at the museum. They're making fun of him, probably.
The reason I want to talk about on tomorrow's show is universally known as one of the biggest assholes in Hollywood for 10 decades. And I
Right.
really want to. He
Tune in tomorrow.
taught Chevy Chase how to act.
Tune in tomorrow to find out why.
And also John
Mickey Rooney was
Panette.
the biggest asshole in Hollywood.
Also John Panette, who was a great comedian, but was best known for being the catalyst of the plot line of the Seinfeld finale.
Right.
He died too, and he was only 50. And I think Mike maybe didn't know him all that well, but had met him a few times.
Yeah, I met him a few times in passing at shows and stuff like that, and he was a sweetheart, and he was a nice guy.
Well,
really nice, sweetheart, sweet man.
We will get into that on tomorrow's show. Although, is he with us tomorrow? He's not even with us tomorrow, is he?
Yes.
I'll be with you tomorrow.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Well, Autumn Fisher,
Yeah.
what if people want to get in touch with you and say hello or let you know what a stupid person you are outside of this show? What if they want to give you a personal 1-star review? Where do they find you?
Nowhere. I have no presence online.
That's Greg.
Oh.
You're stealing Greg's act.
No, if you want to give me a 1-star review and talk to me on my personal Facebook and blow my shit up.
No, I'm just kidding. What if they want
cannot do
more?
that.
What if
It's
they
better to
want-
get off the internet, by the way, Autumn. It'll force you to interact with people again.
Oh, yeah? I interact with people now.
I guess it didn't really work for me. I'm off the internet, and I still don't interact
Yeah.
with people.
No, you're just a loner. There are lone wolves in this world. What if people just want a little more Autumn Fisher?
I'm everywhere at Autopritz, Pritts.
Michael Albanese, you're shooting stuff for your documentary that you're making in New York.
Yes.
And-
And I encourage We Own That Dome to tweet me at BigManMike.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also personal message you my address. And we can have a nice discussion. And
You want to fight?
Go
You
fuck
want
yourself.
to fight this guy?
No, I don't. I just want to talk to. I just don't like people that sit behind a keyboard and they got all this big talk, but they won't do it directly or personally. And I
don't
feel
know
that makes you a pussy.
You don't know that. He's that all critics do that, right? That's the job
Exactly.
of the critic.
And
That's
it's
the
not
arg-
no.
If Dustin Hoffman feels the same way when Roger Ebert would go after a performance, he'd be like, what have you ever done? You sit behind a typewriter.
He has, but he didn't say I don't like the show, the banter back and forth. He personally attacked.
He
everybody.
did call you out. He called you out. He called
So
Autumn
you
out.
know
a
what?
little bit, didn't he?
Let's talk about it. You want to have a discussion? You want to have a real critical eye? Let's have a conversation. Otherwise, I don't trust you, and I don't believe what you say.
I can't wait to see a show where hecklers get the best of you, Michael Albanese. I'll bet you unleash. I'll bet you
no.
unleash. I don't mean get the best of you, but if they're too loud, I can see
No,
that you...
and I'll tell you why. Because those people are sitting right there in front of me, and they
Yes.
have the balls to say some shit right there. This guy, We Own That Dome. Guarantee it doesn't have the balls to just to do anything publicly or where anybody else can react to him.
I think that what you're saying is We Own That Dome can own your ball sack.
No, I don't care. No, it's not.
Oh, maybe I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying. You can own my ball sack.
Hit me up on Twitter, find me online, and let's have a dialogue rather than you just being a pussy sitting behind your computer. Boom.
No,
Challenge issued.
not defensive at all.
On the
Greg
table.
Russ.
We own that dome. If you do decide to take Michael up on his challenge and you show up with some guns, know that I like you, and I'm happy that you didn't go after me, even though you probably hate me. And even if you did go after me at this point, I'm going to step back and you just please kill Michael.
Actually, I was thinking about firing these two and just taking just me and Greg being the show anyway. So We Own That Dome is really ahead of his time,
You're right.
if you think about it.
And I think you're right. I should be fired.
And Michael's not back in town until later this week, like Thursday. So just sit back. Don't
We'll
show
schedule a
up.
big
Don't
fight.
show up
That's right.
in Roswell anytime soon.
Oh, I want to talk about very quickly. My first newsletter went out yesterday. Finally, the EVH newsletter #1. No BS at all. The bumper stickers and the shirts are made. They're done. We'll get them out to you. This is obvious to our Patreon people. We will get those out to you.
If you're in that level that receives the bumper stickers and T-shirts, then you need to send us your address if you
need to
haven't
make sure
already.
your
or else
home
you ain't
address.
getting it.
Yeah, I can't I can't telepathically send you that T-shirt. We'll get into more of that. That was tomorrow. We're not going to get because this show's done. So we'll get into more of that tomorrow. That was the morning show with Eric Von Hessler. We will chat with you again tomorrow morning. Goodbye. Goodbye. Get out of here. Go. Are you still here? Go.